Today we're going to show you the last bed here at the Northern Michigan garden that got planted. So last time we were up here, there was a lot to do, and they definitely did check a lot off their to-do list, but we had one bed that remained, and that's the bed that we're seeing here right by the roadside. And I think he did a really good job. I'm loving how this is looking. The colors he chose, the plants he chose are really quite stunning. So one thing up here is we have a lot of butterflies. So when we're planting these beds, we're trying to really kind of not only keep in mind what plants are deer resistant, but also what plants are really good at attracting those butterflies to these beds. Hi, I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings, and let's go ahead and take a look at these fantastic selections that Rod chose for the Northern Michigan garden. So this is the site we see when we are inside the cottage, and it's just such a bright collaboration of colors. So he did mix a lot of perennials in this bed along with those annuals. And the reason is the annuals, they give that consistent splash of color, where the perennials, they kind of cycle through depending on when it's their time to shine. So on the back side of the bed, this is where there's a lot of the annual color. That way we're seeing it from inside the cottage. So some of the plants he used, we have the tropical rose sun patient. We love sun patients because they're just easy to grow, and typically the deer have stayed away from them, although I would not tell you that it is definitely a deer resistant plant, because it's not. But we've had pretty good luck with the deer not touching them. I'm loving this. This is the Woodgilla Midnight Sun, and I love the coloration. This was just planted. It's going to get beautiful pink flowers on it in the late spring. This is a deer resistant shrub, but even when it's not flowering, that foliage color is fantastic. In the middle of the bed, we have some of the Hissup, also known as Agistachis. And I love Agistachis because they're a very long blooming perennial. And those tubular blooms are fantastic for the pollinators. Anything, as I mentioned always, anything with tubular flowers is definitely something that not only butterflies, but bees, but hummingbirds as well, just really love. We do have some of the Superunia Vista Jazzberry in here. Vista Jazzberry is one of my favorite petunias, and these are going to really fill in this space and pretty much cover all of the soil. So that is one thing Rod did not get finished this week. He didn't bring up enough bags of mulch, but the mulch that he did use, I love it. I just love the look of it. It's very natural looking, nice and bright. So we'll have to bring more mulch up next time we come and just kind of get this covered. The reason we use mulch is because it helps not only hold moisture in the bed, it also helps keep weeds from popping up just everywhere in the garden. The begonia is the Selenia yellow. I love the yellow. And honestly, I think it's this yellow of this begonia that really adds so much wow to this garden bed. When I stand back and look at it, the yellow is absolutely fantastic. And I think it's going to look great, especially when those Superunia Vista Jazzberries really start to rock and roll and put on a lot more growth. Look at that. Isn't that just such a vibrant, gorgeous purple color? Here's some more of the summer-long Agistachis. We've got yellow, and I believe it's called mandarin, kind of an orange color, and then coral, more of a orangey pink. And I love how he did kind of that grouping of the three of them, where when those really are all in full bloom, it's going to be a fantastic blend of color. We also have ornamental grasses in this bed. He did dig some of them out this year because they were getting just huge and kind of just too much. So he split them into 4 even clumps, spaced them out naturally. And the reason I love the grass in the garden is, number one, it adds motion, but also too, in the late summer, it's just, grasses are a great plant for late summer going into fall interest, especially when they start throwing up their plumes. This was planted last year. This is the Salvia. I think this one's back to the fuchsia. And he really just kind of, as he planted this, he kind of made a wave pattern going through the bed. So as you're looking at the bed from one side to the other, you're getting a consistent look of that back to the fuchsia Salvia. This is a great plant because when it is done flowering, we can come through, deadhead it, and it will continue to bloom all summer long as we continue to keep up on the deadheading. Another Agistachis there. That one looks like it's the meant to be royal raspberry. And that one's going to be a little bit taller than those summer long series. We did also put a couple roses in here, and we'll see how they do. I love this particular one. This is the reminiscent coral. Look how huge that flower is. So many buds, and this is also a very fragrant plant as well. So this one we'll have to watch. There's a chance the deer might eat at it. And we'll kind of see. We'll see what the deer are preferring and what they're not. And if need be, we'll come through and spray some Bob-X or plant skid in this garden bed on any of the plants that the deer seem to be favoring. We've got some Armeria in here, and he's got 5 different colors that he's sprinkled throughout. This is another low-growing perennial, deer-resistant, in various colors. There's another one there. And that's just kind of a fun, whimsy, low-growing, blow-in-the-breeze looking perennial. So that will be kind of nice and dainty. In the back there is I think it's the Aromance heliotrope. I just love those vibrant purple blooms. Big as, let's call it a broccoli head. So definitely a little bit different than some of the other heliotrope out there. Also, it's very, very fragrant. So that one just smells lovely, especially when you're walking around here at night. As we make our way, this is a grouping of allium. I don't know if it's millennium or serendipity, one or the other. They look very similar. But these will be blooming midsummer, and that will just too give kind of that fun, whimsical look. A lot like those Armeria with the ball-shaped blooms, but just a little bit taller. This year, he lined the bed with Euphorbia Diamond Frost. Now it's getting lost a little bit here in those wood chips, but as it grows and gets larger, I'm hoping it will pop a little bit more. You know how I talk about how I love adding white into the garden because it just adds just that gorgeous pop in the night. I'm hoping that's what these Euphorbia Diamond Frost will do as well. We've got some butterfly bush planted in here, along with kind of a grouping or mass of the Nepeta. The purple flower is the Nepeta cat's pajamas. Another long blooming perennial, give it a light trim, and it blooms all summer long. The gorgeous chartreuse green we're seeing here, this is a Spirea, and I don't know, we'll see if I can figure out the tag for which one this is. But I love that chartreuse with the red burgundy tips, and this will be flowering midsummer and adding a little interest there as well. Spirea are a deer-resistant shrub, so that is why we chose Spirea, and there's lots of them in this bed because we shouldn't have to worry about the deer browsing. Here's another one of those Pugster butterfly bush. Very compact in size, only 2 foot tall, but look how huge those blooms are. So they may not have like a ton of blooms, but when it blooms, the size of them, they're so big, they cover the entire plant. Making our way through, there you can see the Salvia again and just how gorgeous it is. I'm going to kind of pan through so you can see the full bed and see how he did kind of that sweeping fashion of color as he started from one side to the other. There's some more allium just kind of tucked in as we're going through. That's that grassy looking foliage. We do have some hydrangeas in here as well. And I think these are the Little Lime Punch. So these will get probably about 4 to 5 foot tall when they're mature. And then you can see how he's got the Bernera circled around. Bernera is a great deer-resistant plant. And we had that planted not only for its foliage interest for year-round, but also the beautiful periwinkle blooms that happen early in the season. This butterfly just does not want to leave. It is loving its best life. It's just checking out those salvia and really enjoying them. I think it's either a black swallowtail or a spicebush swallowtail. Here we have some Tiarella, and these are two adding that nice splash of foliage interest. And so far they're doing pretty good. We'll have to see how the deer handle them or don't. So that'll be kind of a test thing. We planted those last season, and obviously they came back, so the deer left them alone well enough. We've got some lavender on the back side of the rock here. Those will be blooming shortly. I'm seeing the buds already starting to form. And behind the lavender is some of the Paint the Town dianthus, which those have already bloomed. As we head to the other side, Rod's very symmetrical with his planting style. So you will notice that a lot of the plants that we will see as we continue through are going to be similar to those that we had just passed by. But again, those salvia are gorgeous. Let's see, what's this? This I think is a butterfly bush that struggled to come back a little bit. Although it is coming back, you do see the green. That is one thing here in Michigan. We're a zone 6A. A lot of times our butterfly bush don't come back from the old twigs. They come back from the base of the plant like you're seeing here. So this isn't something to be totally concerned about if you are in a zone 5 or even maybe a zone 6. If you're not seeing growth on those upper stems, just go ahead and trim them off. More than likely your growth is coming there from the base. There's a few white sun pations also tucked in this bed, which will give just some little splashes of white, a little bit more dense splash of white in the night, complementing those diamond frosts really nice. Again, you can see how the spirea just continue to pop with their foliage color. Even before they start flowering, that foliage is just really looking spectacular. At the end of the bed is another mass planting of the cat's pajamas, Nepeta. And you can just see what a vibrant splash of purple that has here in this garden space. Looks like there was a little bit of space, so we did tuck in some Kufia vermillionaire. That's the little orange flowers we're seeing. And Kufia vermillionaire is a favorite for hummingbirds. So if you are looking to attract hummingbirds to the garden, tuck in some Kufia vermillionaire in your pots or in your garden bed, and you're sure to see hummingbirds, I would think, at some point throughout the summer. Here's another armeria. This is just a white one. And here is a lighter pink one. So you use different colors on either side of the bed, but similar plants, so that way it has that similar look in that similar style. So I'm really happy with how this space turned out. I'm just loving all the color, and we'll be sure to kind of update you on this garden bed as the summer continues. Also, we'll let you know how these plants are faring with the deer, if they're finding favorable or if they're leaving them alone. If you have any questions or comments on any of these plants that we planted today here in the Northern Michigan garden, please feel free to leave it in the comments below. And if you're new to our channel, we welcome you to subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings.